Good afternoon. On behalf of the Jones family, Wendy, Tommy, I want to welcome you to an afternoon of paying tribute to a very special person and a very special friend, and that's our Run Run Jones. At this time, I'd like Adam Ibarra to come up, do the opening prayer. Thank you.
Let's go ahead and bow our heads. Dear God, we come before you. What an incredible amount, my God, of love that I sense here. And I thank you, my God, because really this day is about celebrating a great man. We had the opportunity to know him, to talk to him, and God, we thank you for that. And so I pray in the name of Jesus, my God, that this afternoon will be about just celebrating this incredible man. And we thank you that we can participate in this day and in this moment. So we honor you and we praise you, my God, in the precious name of Jesus. And we all said, amen.
Thank you, Adam. I don't know if I have my Kleenex to clean my glasses or to start stopping the tears, but you know, when you know somebody for such a long time, and I've known Run Run for 41 years, and today I'm kind of going to go through his life for you and hit some high spots with it. And there's a lot of questions and a lot of things, and a few things that I didn't know about him. And probably a lot of you are going to be kind of shocked to the same thing, that was that our Run Run. But they're all good things, all positive things. I'll save the bad things for the guys when they come up. Run Run was born in Coal Valley, Illinois on October 26, 1929. His parents were Edmund Roscoe and Muriel Lee Jones. He had one brother, Edmund, who's now deceased, and four sisters, Monterey and Daisy, who have since passed, and his third and fourth sister, Ilo and Beverly, that still live in Coal Valley. And of course, without a doubt, his two children, Wendy and Tommy, make up the rest of the family. This has been a statement that I received from the family, and it's totally confirmed 100%, that Run Run, growing up, the first thing, that he was not someone that followed the rules. He was a rule stretcher. He did not like rules. The second thing was that he didn't like to be told what to do. Now, this is when he was younger, so you know he was destined to be an Oakland Raider. That's automatic with that background. So at the end, now you'll love this one. I was totally shocked when Wendy had sent me this bio on Run Run. So at the age of 15, he ran away from home and joined the circus. No, it's like you're reading a storybook, you know. And the only thing I could really think about, well, you know, if Run Run was alive and I read this, and the first thing I would say to him, I can't imagine you in tights on a trapeze. I seriously would. That really made me really laugh when I read it, believe me. But this lasted only a short time because the people from the circus had to bring him back home because he had an appendix burst and he needed an operation, so they had to rush him back home. So being back home, now he had to go back to school, finish high school, which he did in 1947. He then left for Los Angeles, California during the early 50s, and this surprised me. He had several small movie roles in Fireball with Mickey Rooney, The Last Time I Saw Paris with Elizabeth Taylor, which was probably a good set for Runner to be on, and The Caddy with Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, which probably was hilarious on that set doing that movie. He then decided to join the U.S. Navy. He fought in the Korean War, and during the war he was captured and was a POW for a year. Very few people know that. And it was something that he really never elaborated on, and when I asked him a couple times, and he just would shake his head. So it was nothing that I pursued, but it was a surprise to me when I found out a few years ago that he was a POW. He returned home in 1953 and then started his legendary roller derby career. He started in Chicago and then continued his career in Los Angeles and then here to the Bay Area to skate with the Bay Area Bombers. Dick Lane, a legendary roller derby announcer, gave him the nickname Run Run. He was the only guy in roller derby history that could actually run on roller skates. He was a little ahead of its time, this guy, I believe, because I'll tell you what, if it was now, he'd probably be making about $10 million a year easily. This is what really separated him from the rest of the skaters and made him a legend in roller derby. He remained in the Bay Area after his skating days and owned his own janitorial service, which a lot of us are familiar that when he was working. In fact, he was skating at the same time and still doing that at night. So he was pretty busy all the time. In 1963, 43 years ago, he started his service with the Raiders. That's a long, long time. During those 43 years, the kid from Coal Valley would grow to be the most recognizable figure in a Raider organization. He became their ambassador, and he was our ambassador, believe me. Everywhere we went, no matter where you went, there was Run Run. And listen, you're just another group that Run Run got together today, believe me. His popularity in the Bay Area grew. I mean, just growing by bounds, and everything he did in the Bay Area, in the community, was for kids. Did things for the police department, fundraisers. Everybody wanted to be at his events. He was so kind with going out and doing all these things. It was unbelievable. And a lot of things didn't get noticed that he did. And he was a tremendous guy at doing this and going out raising money for kids and for the different foundations, for Willie Brown's Foundation, or the Biletnikoff Foundation. So he's always helping everybody, believe me. It was unbelievable. Runner, and I know this for a fact, was a caring and loving father. This was it gets tough. Okay, I only got a paragraph to go. His smile, his kindness, his caring, his bouncy walk when he come walking, strolling in anywhere, was so recognizable. The way he made everyone feel so special, everybody in this room had some contact with Run Run, and he did make every one of us feel so special. And that takes a talent. Believe me, that really does, but he had that talent. He'll always be inside all of us, no matter what we want to say. He's probably the one person that I know that'll pass away and never be forgotten. Every time you turn around, there's going to be someone talking about Run Run, what he did. And the best thing that ever happened to me, and I want to pass it on to you. I rode to a game with him this year, and I was totally shocked. And it's almost like you look at people, you see people, and he is the only person driving in there with him, and he was driving, and this is Run Run, okay, vintage Run Run. Everybody, hey, Run Run, there's Run Run. Hey, Run Run, hi, Run Run, how you doing, Run Run? Boom, people all the way in. It was amazing, and I just sat in the car and thought, this whole football career, this guy's got it way over me, man. Everybody is screaming, hollering, Run Run, and you know what? He just unbelievable, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing the type of person he was. I can't say enough good things about him, and I kind of want to end the eulogy on Run Run, and I hope you got some information out of it, and we did get a few laughs, which is harmless, but at least we found out some new things about Run Run. But the one thing I do want to do is thank Wendy and Tommy for sharing your dad with us all these years. Thank you so much, okay, because he was a tremendous man, and there are a ton of people that love your dad, okay? And we're going to start with speakers, and I'll start with the first one.
Tom, Wendy. Today, the world is a bit quieter, a bit sadder, a bit less full of life, of passion, of light, and of laughter. The world is emptier, but the heavens, oh, the heavens, they're a bit louder, a bit happier, a bit more full of energy, of spice, of enthusiasm, of life. So the world is emptier, but the heavens, ecstatic. If you were here today, runner, we would again tell you that we love you, we cherish you, we treasure you. And if you were here today, runner, you would say, "You ain't lying, baby." To Wendy and to Tom, not a week went by that your father didn't speak of his love for you, his pride in your accomplishments, and his belief in you. You'll go forward with your own memories of a man who was loved by so many and who touched so many. And you will go forward with our love and our commitment that we will never, ever let our memories of your father dim. We loved him, we cherished him, and we treasured him.
You thought it was going to be a beard that Run Run left for me, huh? The other day in our team meeting, I asked Coach Shell if I could talk to the team, and I know a lot of ball players are here, and I know that we really didn't have a lot of room in time-wise and everything to have everybody come up and speak from the team. So Shane Leckler was kind enough that the guys on the team picked him to represent all the players in our organization on a Raider football team. So Shane?
Well, talking about Run Run, you could talk about him behind his back, but when you talk about him in a situation like this, it's not always the easiest thing to do. He was a guy that, whether you were a player, a coach, anybody new to the organization, he was probably the first guy that you met at the airport. Run Run was there to pick us up, and I remember the day he picked me up 7 years ago. Run Run picked me up, and I said to myself, this one's going to be interesting. And it was. Run Run made it very, very easy to accommodate yourself, to get involved into the team. He made it fun, and he always had a story. And a lot of them that should not be told in here won't be told in here. And a lot of them I will take to the grave with me also. But Run Run was a great friend of mine. He doesn't get tough. He came up to me every day on game day and said, "Hey man, how you feel?" "Run Run, I punt for the Raiders. I feel pretty good." "Not many bumps and bruises here, buddy." After about the third or fourth year, he started repeating my answer. I said, "All right, Run Run, well, I'll see you after a while, see you out on the field for pregame." "Wait, what time do we go out?" "Well, Run Run, it's a 1:15 kickoff. We go out at 12:02. We have for the last 6 years." "I know, I just didn't want to walk over there and look." So, anyways, Run Run's been a great, great friend of mine. I know to a lot of the guys on the team, the staff. It's kind of empty around there right now. He was a good guy. And just want to thank everybody for letting me speak on his behalf. And just going to thank you, Tommy and Wendy. Appreciate it. But I do have one more story. And I was a rookie, and we were playing down in New Orleans. And that's right before kickoff. And being a rookie, you're antsy, you're kind of nervous about the game. And here comes Run Run over. Run Run said, "Hey, you think we're going to win?" "Yeah, Run Run, I think we're going to win." "Why are you asking? Do you not think we're going to win?" He goes, "No, but right now that makes two of us. I got to go ask some more." So I said, "All right, Run Run, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys."
I told you you're going to have some laughs today, aren't you? You know what? A year ago, going on a year ago, when it was announced that Art Shell was coming back, I never saw someone so excited as Run Run. and it was unbelievable. And he just loved it. Our guy's back. Our guy's back. So I'd like to invite Art Shell to come up, please.
That's the salute. That's the run, run salute. Run, Run Jones. Every time I saw a run, run, every day, I would say, Run, Run Jones, a legend in his own time. And he'd give me this thing every day. Run, Run Jones was a great friend to all of us. He touched the lives of so many people. Working in the league office, before I came back, people would ask me, who is this guy, Run Run Jones? What does he do? Where did he come from? I said, Run Run was a great roller derby player. Great one. And that's how he got his name, Run Run Jones. Like Fred said, he ran on skates. Nobody could do that. And all the officials, even last week, before the game, the officials said, boy, we're really going to miss that guy. He was a great guy. So Run Run touched the lives of so many people. There's so many people that we don't even know that know Run Run Jones. And he was a great individual. Tommy, Wendy, he loved you guys so much it's unbelievable. He loved you guys to death. He talked about you all the time. He was so proud of you. Run Run Jones. God. We're going to miss him. Runner always said, I got the biggest house in the state of California. So anytime one of your coaches want to sleep in one of my rooms, go right ahead. And there are a lot of people, a lot of women, that are sad right now because he was a 20th century Casanova. No doubt about it. He is a good man. Runner would take my truck every week, get it washed, come as a coach. The weather's going to be okay, so we ought to go ahead and get the truck washed, so it can look nice and neat for the game. I said, okay, Runner, whatever you say. He'd take it and drive and get it washed. And I said, okay, what happened over there? He said, everybody liked my truck. They'd ask me, say, is that your truck? He said, well, no, I won't lie to you. It belongs to Coach Shell. So 3 weeks ago, he took it and got it washed. I said, okay, what happened this time, Runner? He said, Coach, I saw the prettiest woman I've seen in a long time. I said, uh-oh. And she asked me, whose truck is that? And I had to tell a lie, Coach. I said, it's mine. Would you like to go for a ride? That was a Runner. We're all going to miss him. I miss him every day. See this picture right here? Every single day, he's sitting there. In the morning, when you wake up and you walk in, he's there. He just got out, just woke up himself, and Runner look kind of bushy-eyed. Every day, now I walk by there, I don't see him. He's there, but you don't see him. He's here now. Believe me, he's probably saying, don't take too long, we got to go get a beer. But anyway, we all will miss Run Run Jones. He touched the lives of a lot of people. He loved the Raider organization. He truly did. He was so proud to be a part of that family. And the Raider family will miss him.
Yeah, he's sitting out in that lounge waiting for this to get over with. Believe me, he's sitting out there too. The next person I'd like to call up is Jim Otto. So, Jim, if you please come up.
His name was Wendell George Run Run Jones. I met Run Run in 1961. I met him at the Pandora's Box bar on East 14th Street in Hayward. He was single and so was I. I don't remember if I was looking up at him or he was looking up at me, but that's how our eyes met. Somehow he was either down there, I was up here, whatever. But Run Run has been a friend of mine since 1961. Tom Flores as well. We roller derbied against the 49ers with the Bay Bombers. We got $50 to roller derby a game, and we had fun. They thought we were being overpaid. But there's just a lot of memories about Run Run, and so much has been said about him already. I'd only be repeating a lot of the things that I know, but his janitorial service affected me. He used to clean the windows and clean my liquor stores back in the 60s. And in 1975, after I'd retired and became the business manager, he was basically a ball boy on the field, and he was not being paid. And the locker room was very, very dirty, and we needed some help in there. And Madden asked me, he says, let's get Run Run to clean the locker room. Maybe we can pay him something. So I asked Run Run, I says, would you please clean? I said, I'll give you $600. You clean this locker room up. This was in 1975. Run Run went to work, cleaned that locker room up, just spit shined everything. It was just wonderful. And I went in to Steve Ballard, and I got a check for $600 and paid Run Run. And then I told him a couple weeks later, maybe a week later, I says, if you take care of the locker room every day, keeping it clean like it is right now every day, I says, I'll give you $600 a month. That was what John Madden and I agreed upon. So we did that. It wasn't long, the ladies in our office building over here on Oakport Street were complaining about the cleanliness and the way the janitors were taking care of that facility. So I said, let's have Run Run clean it up. So Run Run cleaned it up. I gave him another $600. And he took that job on as a full-time basis. And so now he's making $1,200 as a Raider janitor. Plus he was washing the windows and cleaning up my liquor stores for all the booze he could carry out of there. But my brother-in-law told me the other day, he said, I think Run Run still owes us a couple of bucks. I says, no, that's not so. But, you know, Run Run surely was very fond of young ladies, and we all know that, and he had a lot of girlfriends, and he always told me, he says, Otts, he called me Otts, he said, I never left a lady unhappy. And I said, well, good for you, Run Run, God bless you. You know, there's a certain philosophy some of us people have. The philosophy could be, to help our fellow man and then to save our own souls. And that's what Run Run was into. You know, he helped everybody, and he had figured out a way to save his own soul. And it just so happened that it was just last weekend that Run Run passed away. And he and two other guys went to heaven, and they were at St. Peter's Gate. St. Peter stopped them and said, hey, you guys have to show me something that is of the Yuletide season, something that represents Christmas, and you will have a fast track right into heaven. So the three guys standing there, they're trying to figure out what they're going to say. One guy pulls out a cigarette lighter and he lights it. He says, St. Peter, this is a Christmas candle. St. Peter says, go right to heaven, you're just fine. So the second guy, he's looking around and trying to come up with something, pulls out some keys, and he jingles the keys. He says, St. Peter, these are jingle bells. St. Peter said, go right to heaven. Run Run doesn't have any keys, doesn't have a lighter, doesn't have anything. What am I going to do, Run Run thinks. Well, he's always been able to think ways of getting out of problems, so He reaches down in his vest pocket, pulls out a pair of panties, and Peter says, "What's that?" He says, "Carol's." So anyway, that was our Run Run Jones, and God bless his soul, and may he rest. Thank you.
Okay, who we got next? Oh, Willie Brown. You're the next chosen one. Thank you very much, Willie. Please come up here. Willie Brown.
Good afternoon. Jim Otto, he and I was out of town last weekend down in Dallas, taking care of some business. So we got the call that Run Run had passed. So we hustled back, getting ready for the game the next day. So I got up that morning and went to the office, started working out. Okay, Ron, hold tight now. He must have wanted me to tell this, but anyway. I was working out. I got through working out. I went upstairs and began to shave and shower. And now this is like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm shaving away, I guess, trying to get ready for the meeting that we had that morning. All of a sudden, I had to hear something go by. So I guess keep shaving, and all of a sudden, so I guess kind of turned. I guess no, I don't want to go there. So anyway, the steps gets went around, kept going around and round and round, and I told Art about this. And surely Run Run was letting me know that he was there. Run Run, I usually help the players and all those kind of guys come in there and get their driving license, those kind of things. And so Run Run had a problem with the driving license. He had to renew them. So he asked me to take him out to DMV to get his license renewed. So we did, and we got there. And the lady said, "You have some identification, birth certificate, past driving license or something to show that, to prove your age." So, of course, Run Run, I don't think he had was a Social Security card. So the lady said, "Well, no, you need your birth certificate to prove." He said, "Well, I'm 2 years older than Al Davis." So she said, "Well, how old is Al Davis?" So she said, "Well, no, that won't work. So you need a passport." So in the meantime, we found out we had to send him back to Illinois, get his birth certificate, get this. So we go, "No, that's not enough. You need more. Go back. We went over several times, and finally we found his age, correct age, and he was 2 years older than the birth certificate that he had. So he said, "Now wait a minute, Willie, don't tell nobody." I said, "Okay, Runner." Also, Run Run, Wendy, and Tight Tom. He always called his son, Tight Tom. Yeah, I see you, Tight Tom. Truly, you was loved by your father. He have helped me a lot, all the things that we used to do in the community to benefit, to help others, in particular kids. He loved kids. But this one time, Run Run and I was doing some things. So we travel, Run Run go to all the trips with us. So we go back east someplace. And he always had his rings, all of them. Everywhere he go, he got all those rings on, showing them. So this particular night, I think it was back in New York, and Run Run must have had like 10 people around him. So I'm coming through the lobby. He called me and said, "Hey, Willie, come here. I want to introduce you to somebody." I said, "Okay, Ron." So in the meantime, we talking. He introduced me to all his friends and folks there. He said, so one of the people said, "That's nice. Run Run owed 10% on the Raiders, huh?" I said, no. I think it's 20% that he owed. So he cracked up, he laughed, so we talked, said, "Oh, that's pretty good." So in the meantime, I said, "Ron, I got to go. I got to get to bed." He said, "Well, come on, have another beer." I said, No. He said, "Well, have a Pepsi." So I said, "I have a Pepsi." So I said, "Ron, I got to go." So he said, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" So we get up, we started walking, so all of a sudden we get around. He said, "Can you loan me 20 to tomorrow?" That was Run Run. Surely he will be missed. He's a great friend of all of us, the players, the coaches. He would do anything to help make sure that our life a little bit better. by being around us. Run Run will surely be missed. Tommy, Wendy, and thank you for giving me the privilege to stand here and talk about your father. We all love him. Thank you very much.
Should have had the senior citizen ramp over here for me. Gee. The next person I want to bring up to have you speak on behalf of Run Run and say a few words is a person that they were partners years ago, and in the early stages when it was the AFL, and we were all young kids, and Hayward was the melting pot for all these guys. So Ben, would you come up, please?
Not a lot of neckties on us guys, right? Except for Art and Willie had to wear them. They're coaches. I feel somewhat responsible for this. Back in the 1986, I bought a bar in Hayward. It was Big Ben's, another bar in Danville. Runner had a janitorial business, and he was always trying to get me to let him clean the bars. And I didn't think that was too good an idea. I didn't think Run late at night should be in my bar with all that liquor, and we never got around to that. But one day during the season, I used to go fix the bank and stock the liquor, and then go to practice. This was about 1969 or 70 or so. And Run saw my car there and happened by, and I took Run off to practice with me. Now, he got in the locker room, and this was a little more frivolous days. The defensive linemen were on one side, and the defensive backs were over on the other side. All the defensive linemen's tape would go off and go over the lockers, and it rained down on the defensive backs. The defensive backs, when they took off things, it would come over on the defensive line. Anyway, the locker room was a mess. And Dick Romanski is no dummy. He saw Run in there, and Run immediately was picking up jocks, tape, all the stuff off the floor. And that's how Run got started with the Raiders. And it was interesting to see that he didn't get paid until 1975. But a great guy and a great inspiration to us all, and great father to his kids, and great to see Peggy, his wife, here too. But Run Jones, great friend to the Raiders, and it's pretty amazing for a what you might call a ball boy in the NFL to get a turnout like this. I think we all agree what an amazing guy he was.
Okay, next. Oh, terrific. Marv Hubbard. And they were close, believe me.
Well, I'm here like the rest of you to pay tribute to one of the kindest, most generous, loyal human beings that I know. And my wife is a principal and school teacher. As a matter of fact, Tom and Wendy, I believe she was the principal when you were in elementary school. And so I have something to do with learning, and one of the things that, well, I learned a lot of things from Run Jones, and one of the things that I learned from him was generosity. And in a time when a lot of us think of generosity as being something as to do with money, how much money we give to this and how much money we give to that, Run Jones had what I call true generosity. He had generosity of spirit. He gave his time. Okay, all of us here, there's, Art, the players, if you ask Run to do anything for you, okay, he would do it. He'd say, Run, can you help me out? And his reply always was, sure, what can I do? What can I do? Had a tremendous attitude like that. One of the most generous people I believe I've ever met. I never heard him say no to anybody. Maybe he did, Art, but I never heard it. The other thing was he had this undying loyalty. Okay, loyalty is is defined as unswerving allegiance to an idea, cause, a person who's deserving of allegiance. And if anybody was a true Raider fan, okay, it was Run Jones. I never heard him in my career, and he never badmouthed the Raiders. He was always there behind us. So there's a lesson to be learned there about loyalty. There's a lesson to be learned about generosity that I learned from him, because he gave of his time, okay, and he was always there for everybody. And all I'd like to say is, I know that I'd like to say Godspeed to his soul, and save me a place at the bar, up in the big bar up in the sky, because I'll be there to see you soon. Thank you.
I'd like to call up Garrett Guimont. He's a very close friend of Run's through the years, and a very close friend to Wendy and Tommy also. So Garrett, would you please come up?
Hey, handsome. I had the pleasure of working with George. I call him George Jones, and he always used to tell me, I'm a lot more famous than that other guy, let me just tell you that. I worked for the Raiders for 8 years, but I knew George a long time. I used to lay on my sister's bed when I was very young and watch my LA T-Birds play their dreaded rivals, the Oakland Bay Area Bombers. And we had Ralphie Valadares as a jammer, and the Bay Bombers had George Run Jones. And Dick Lane did give him that nickname, and I watched him there. I watched him as he went through that part. And you take a look at George, and you look at his life, and everyone's had stories about what he was and how he did it, Sylvester Stallone wrote a movie that he wouldn't sell unless he took the lead. George Jones's life was a lot like a movie, and he let others take the lead. He just absolutely, positively stole the show in a supporting role, because that's what he did always. He supported. When I got to the Raiders, and me getting to the Raiders, God knows it was a journey, because Rod Martin had opened the door for me, and I was going to go through my interview, and I was calling into the Raiders, and in LA, George answered the phone. He knew me from my time at the Rams, and when he answered the phone, I think you knew who it was, because he would answer, hello. I said, George, this is Guy. I said, patch me upstairs, please. I'm trying to get a job. He said, okay. Nothing. I called back. I said, George, this is Guy. Trust me, I'm trying to get out there with you. We knew each other. I said, patch me upstairs. He said, okay. God's my witness, nothing. I called back one more time. I said, Runner, go get Rod Martin. And he did. When I got there in LA, I was moving around gym equipment, changing the way the room was. And a young man walked into the room. And he was very young. He was 12 years old. And he wasn't dressed very appropriately, and he had some wild hair, and he had some things. And I said to him, I said, "You're going to have to go." And he said, but I said, "You're going to have to go. I don't know who you are. I'm trying to get this work done. You're going to have to go." And you talk about a man. There's two things you did not mess with George Jones. You did not mess with the Oakland Raiders, and you did not mess with his kids. He was down in the weight room immediately saying, "Hey, slap, that's my son." I said, "All right, George, all right, calm down, calm down." I said, "Take him home, do a couple of different things, and bring him back. I want to talk to him." So Tommy came back down that weekend, and I sat him in a chair, and I said, "Here's what we're going to do." I said, "You want to work for the Oakland Raiders?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "All right, I'm going to hire you as my intern. I'm going to hire you as my intern, and this is what we're going to do." And we did. We did do that, and we went through that journey. We went through that journey for 8 years. And Wendy and Tom, your dad is going to miss you. He loved you. He loved the Raiders. He did. There's the fabric of the Raiders are in this room. And George Jones was as much of that fabric as any man in here. Thank you.
I'd like to call up now Marcus Allen. So would you please come up, Marcus?
Good evening, good afternoon rather. I am flooded with memories of Run Run. I've had a tough week. I just came from Lamar Hunt's memorial service, and I got the news from Mike Ornstein that Runner passed, and I almost fell down, frankly. I feel like I had a special relationship with him. As I'm sure many of you have felt. I wish I could tell him I love him, but I really felt that he knew that. Even when I didn't play here, I was in, he would meet me at the Arrowhead in the tunnel every time the Raiders came in town, give me a hug. He'd come by my house. I don't think a lot of you guys would know that, but he'd come by my house a few times when we were in Los Angeles, and we'd sit and talk, and we either would meet out at a restaurant, and he was the elephant in the living room. He was hard to ignore, guys. There's something about, and I've been trying to pinpoint it, but he was a force of nature in a very, very subtle way, in a very kind way. Full of laughter, and he always had this great knack of knowing whether you were up or whether you were down and saying the right words. And as Ben said, as you look at the audience here, not to minimize that title, but most people wouldn't think that a ball assistant or a ball boy would command this sort of presence. But it's obvious that he was much more than just that to a lot of people, and he was much more than just that to me. I think the first time I met Runner, I think he, one of his first things that obviously made me laugh is he used to take out his uppers and lowers and I can't tell you what he would say after that, but it was. And we would go out, and I after practice I said, okay, I'll meet you at the restaurant, and he would be there, and I'd get there, and there he was holding court, and I sit there and I take notes because I don't know how he would do it. Maybe it was the Super Bowl rings or whatever, but he held people's attention, and he made people laugh, and he would always bring people over to me and stuff, and I would never never not have enough time because I felt that was important to Runner. And when I look back at the day that I walked into the Raider facility and meeting him for the first time and stuff, and him being the constant in my life. Even though you don't see anybody or see a person, you still feel very, very close to that person. And that was Runner. I don't know, I called a couple of guys. I called Frank Hawkins. I don't know if he was able to make it. He certainly wanted to. And I talked to Rod Martin, and they were, you can hear it, in their voices how saddened they were. Obviously, this is supposed to be a celebration, but it's very sad for me because, he was amazing. He was amazing to me. He was amazing to me. He was bigger than life. He was a force of nature, as I said, and through his subtleness, he made people remember him. We'll remember him 100 years from now. As long as we live, Run will be a part of Raider lore, part of our lives. You're talking about co-starring. He co-starred in my life, and it's always hard to say goodbye. You have your memories and you want to embrace those, and I don't know, Art. I don't know, maybe we should try to do something, man, the Run meeting room or something. Something in his honor, because he was, named an office after him or something, because he was such a vital part of I think, a lot of our lives and stuff. And some of you guys have known him a lot longer than I have, but believe me, in the short time, and I say almost 20-something years, he impacted me in a way that a lot of people don't understand, because he was so kind. I remember always buying him Christmas presents and seeing his face light up. I'd buy him shoes and stuff like that. But he gave me so much more than I ever gave him. And I'll never forget him. I just want to say that. Thank you very much.
Howie Long wasn't able to make it today, but he sent ahead a little email, and I'd love to read it to you. Runner was one of the first faces I saw when I arrived at the Raider facility in Oakland back in 1981, and one of the last faces I saw when I left in 1994. When his name has come up over the years, or for some reason it had popped into my mind, it would always bring a smile to my face. There have been many people over the years who have helped define the Raiders. Brilliant coaches, legendary players, and championship teams. But one of the constants throughout all those years was George Run Run Jones, a man whose contributions and loyalty to the Raider family was nothing short of excellent. Run Run's excellence never went unnoticed, especially by Al Davis, whose loyalty to the members of the Raider family is unparalleled. Run Run honored everyone he ever knew with his energy, his enthusiasm, and his loyalty, and I'm honored to have known Run Run, a legendary Raider. From Howie Long. Well, I believe, you know what, I have one story before, just one, believe me, just one, okay? We had a coach, Gary Stevens, years ago, who was our quarterback coach here, and he'd only been with us about a month, so he didn't really know Run Run, and Run Run always called him Jerry instead of Gary. And so one day, Gary was going through the upstairs where the coach's offices are, and he said to Run Run, "I'm expecting a guy to come here, so as soon as he comes up here, would you please send the guy back to the office or just get a hold of me?" So a period of time went by, and a little more period of time. I was standing in the kitchen with Run Run, and I didn't know what was going on exactly. So in comes Gary. He says, "Run Run." He said, "Did that guy show up yet?" He says, no, but the other guy showed up. Oh, Run, he was beautiful. He was beautiful. Yeah, I'll tell you. Right now, we have a film to roll for you, so we'll take the time to look at that. So please roll the film.
This is where we will always remember seeing George Run Run Jones, on the sidelines of a Raiders game, waving his towel to get Raider fans cheering.
When they're down by the black hole, I love to wave the towel.
But the story of George Jones and his relationship with the Raiders is much more than this. Run Run was hired by then Raiders head coach John Madden in the early 1970s. Run Run had developed friendships with Raider players a decade earlier, during his time spent with the San Francisco Bay Bombers.
Run Jones on the wet from Larino. Janowitz out there to meet him with a hard block.
This is Run Run in a 1959 photo. Many of the Raiders would go watch Run Run skate, including Madden. One day, he decided to ask Madden for a job, and a month later, in 1972, Run Run became a Raider.
I was tired of skating, and he said, well, call me in about 3 weeks. So he forgot about me. So I saw him at the game, and I said, hey, you forgot to call me, and then he hired me right then.
Run Run's official title was clubhouse assistant. On game days, he was everywhere. In fact, it was hard to keep up with him. In addition to game days, Run Run was also part of most Raider events.
Well, I have a lot of fans. Believe me, everybody knows me, really. You wouldn't think they knew a ball boy, but I've been here a long time. When I wear my rings, I'm big.
Oh, yeah. Run Run was big. Bigger than life. This man was part of all 3 Raiders Super Bowl victories. He remembered Super Bowl 11, his first, vividly.
All I know is it was all Minnesota fans, and they were supposed to kick our butts. It's always purple everywhere. And we beat them pretty bad. It took me about 2 weeks to come down.
Run Run once said he didn't like the offseason because he missed all the action. He missed his friends, the players, people he thought of as part of his family.
They are, really. I mean, how many people can stay working for an outfit for 34 years if they don't enjoy it?
George Jones, born in Moline, Illinois, 77 years ago this past October. A man nicknamed Run Run because it appeared he was running on his skates. A man who literally touched the lives of millions over the years. A man who hated to lose, but loved to love.
I get treated great. Amy loves me, and Mr. Davis does. And nobody messes with me. I hope I leave behind that they really love me a lot.
Run Jones, a real original. You know, I was the head coach of the Oakland Raiders, and Ben Davidson brought Run by, and he said he wanted something to do. He'd like to work with the Raiders and do something. And I said, well, what can you do? And he says, well, I can do anything and everything. So I said, okay, that's what you're doing. And that's what Run did, anything and everything. And he was always available. You know, in those days, we didn't have anyone to spot the football. You know, in high school, you have managers, and in college, you have managers. But in pro football, you don't have anyone to spot the ball in practice. So, you're running plays or running passes, and you have to spot the ball. So I gave Run that job. So what would happen is we would run a play or a pass, and then the player would throw the ball back into Run. Well, Run wasn't sure how to handle the ball, so he'd have a ball in each hand, and then the guy would throw it to him. And then, of course, the ball would hit him and bounce all over. And my players, being what they were, you'd think, well, they'll understand, and instead of throwing the ball at Run, they'd just come over and hand it to him. Not those guys. I mean, not the Raiders or those guys. When they figured out that, okay, he's having a problem with the footballs, then they'd throw it at him. And they'd throw it at him harder. So then Run would figure out, well, I can't hold 2 footballs and catch another one, so he would put the 2 down, and then he would catch the ball, but he couldn't catch. So then the guys realized that, so then they'd just drill him with the ball. Run caught the ball like this. Well, of course, when you catch the ball like this, it's going to hit your fingers, and when it hits your fingers, it's going to dislocate them, break them, and do all those things, which it did. And then he'd have gloves, and then he'd have his fingers taped, and he went through the whole process. But only Run. He stuck to it, though. I mean, he was there every day, and no matter what the players or how hard they'd throw it, he would stand there and not say a thing. He would just take it, and he loved it, and the players loved him. When you think of Run, it brings a smile to your face. You can't say Run or runner without smiling. And you usually can't say it without saying hey in front of it. It's hey, Run, and then you smile. Hey, runner, how you doing? Hey. I mean, he has all those things, and you think of all those years. The runner was with the Raiders when I was there. They were great years. I mean, he was someone that always had a smile and always made you smile. And not every day is a smooth day, we all know that. But Runner always helped make unsmooth days smooth. I mean, he was always there, he always had something, and as I said, he was an original, he was one of a kind. I left the Raiders, and it would be fun. I'd go back and watch him or do a Raider game, and I'd always see Run and always had a smile and a hug, and I'll tell you, it's not the same. I mean, go into a Raider game, go into a Raider practice without Run Jones won't be the same. We all miss him, and I think for having him in our lives was big for all of us. I mean, he's someone that, as I said earlier, he was an original, and he'll never be forgotten.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bob Casulo. At least that was my given name when I was born. In the year 2001, while working for the Oakland Raiders, a silver-haired gentleman named Run Jones anointed me with a new name, Baghdad Bob. Throughout the NFL the last 5 years, as I meet people not only with the Oakland Raiders, but all throughout the league with other teams, I'm greeted affectionately as Baghdad Bob. That's just an example of the influence George Run Jones has throughout the entire National Football League. Today's a memorial service for a gentleman that we all grew to love and respect while being affiliated with the Oakland Raiders. He was a wonderful man, a gifted man. I choose to celebrate today because I love him, loved him as a friend, loved him as a person. We all miss him dearly. I just saw him a few weeks ago when Oakland came up here to Seattle for the game. I'd like to say I had a nice visit with him on the field, but all the expletives that he was spewing forth, I didn't know if he was talking to me or talking to the truck drivers of the world, but that was Run. We got a big hug, we got a big laugh. Little did I know that'd be the last time I'd ever see him. But you know what? I'm glad I saw him because it brings back the memory, a friend that we'll never forget. I'll never forget. Run, if you're hearing me, you're watching me, I love you, buddy. May you rest in peace, and somewhere down the road, we'll all join up together. Thank you.
To Tommy and Wendy, and all the friends of Run Jones, the Allen family is very sorry we can't be there today to celebrate the life of a great man. Run and I had a lot of time together, and I know you all are sharing some great stories today. And every time I'd go out with Run, he couldn't wait to run up to the nearest girl, usually a pretty woman, and say, you know, we have the same birthday, Bruce and I, and we're the same age as well. Runner, we're gonna miss you so much. Not gonna miss your chili, or that secret recipe for the chili, which was the can opener. But we're gonna miss you, but we're gonna treasure the memories that you gave all of us. Love to you and Tommy and Wendy. Good luck.
First of all, I want to say how sorry I am today about the news about my friend Run. He definitely was a true friend. To Tommy, to Wendy, to Peggy, the whole Jones family, I am truly sorry about the loss. He definitely will be truly missed. I know we all have a lot of memories, fond memories of our friend. He was always there for me and my family, whether it was taking me to dinner, taking me to and from practice, or whether it was picking my wife and kids or parents up from the airport. I could always count on Run. He was always there for me. But I think the fondest memory for me was back in '99 when I left the Raiders. I had called Run about a week before practice, before training camp was to start. And we had small talk, and obviously the conversation always went to how's the family, and I had asked him about Tommy and Wendy and how they've grown up so much, and Tommy became a man, and couldn't believe how beautiful his daughter Wendy was. Couldn't believe he had a daughter that was that beautiful. So know that he was very proud of you two. And he obviously wanted to know about my family, my wife and kids, and the conversation always turned to football and wanted to know how things were going. And I said, well, I'm looking forward to a great season, Run. And he kind of responded saying, yeah, I think we're going to do it this year. I think we're going to go all the way. And conversation went for about 10 or 15 minutes, and decided that, hey, Run, I have to talk to you later. Had something coming up, and I had to leave. And he said his goodbyes, and I said, well, Run, I'll plan on seeing you or talking to you soon. And his response was, all right, Gannon, we'll see you next week. And I thought that was kind of funny. And he just whole conversation, I thought I was his guy. I'd always said I was his guy, and at the last minute he said, thought I was Gannon, and that was just Run. That was just his personality. Always nice to everybody. Didn't have a bad thing to say about me or my family. He was always concerned about other people. But it's just memories like that I'll always remember, and knowing that he was always there for me, and I was his guy. He always told me that. Always made me feel like I was the guy, and he was the guy in all of our hearts. So Tommy, Wendy, just know this, that he was always there for me, and if you guys ever need anything, please don't hesitate to call me or my family. We'll always be there for you, and just know that you're always in our thoughts and prayers.
First of all, let me apologize for not being there at the services, but because of my schedule, I just could not work it out. To Tommy and Wendy, I just want to say, send my condolences to you guys and to the rest of the family. Run was a great part of my life. Just a quick story about Runner. When I first got there as a rookie in '88, I was at El Segundo practice facility, and I threw the ball, and I didn't throw it to him. So he came up to me, he said, hey, rookie, throw me the ball. And I didn't know who this guy was. I just thought he was just some guy out there, but I didn't know the legend of Run at that time. The first game that year, I scored on a kickoff return, and then I had another good game. So after that, he came up to me and said, I'll never call you a rookie again. I'll never call you a rookie again. And he sort of spent the rest of my career apologizing for calling me a rookie. But Runner was a great friend. He was a guy who I could always count on for anything that I may need around the facility. And he certainly embodied what the Raider pride and poise is all about. I mean, he's a guy who cared intensely about the Raider tradition and about the Raider football, and he was glad to show anybody. And all of you who are there, I'm sure you can recall at least one story where he's told you about his Super Bowl rings. And certainly I heard many stories about those rings over the years. And Runner would certainly be missed. And I know from everyone there, everyone would certainly miss him. I'm going to miss him. Seeing him the last time I was up there for the Houston game, I pull up to the Hilton Hotel, and who's the first person I see is Run Jones. So from that standpoint, it's going to be very sad to be around there and not seeing Runner. but he's gone to the Raider heaven on high, and we certainly will miss him. Rest in peace, Runner. We love you, baby.
Unbelievable to hear remarks from those guys to see Run on a film. He was the guy. We're foolish. We didn't know he was the guy, but he's the guy. You know, right now to have some parting remarks, I'd like to bring Run's son up here, Tommy. So Tommy Jones, would you please come up here? And Wendy also.
Wendy and I want to thank everyone who came out here to celebrate my father's life and everyone who has made this day so special. I guarantee he is loving all this attention. Hearing the words today and seeing all of you here, it is clear that my father was an amazing man who had amazing ability to captivate everybody around him. We thank you for giving my father the opportunity to be in your life. We know he loved you being in his. And to honor him, Wendy and I are going to have Thank you.
I knew I should have stole it. Well, I know Tommy and Wendy would also like that. You know, thank everybody. I mean, some of you people have come from so far away, all the way across the United States, a few people, and just thank you. I mean, what a great turnout. I mean, you people have done such a terrific job taking the time to be here and be part of this, which you understand Run and how he was and how much he loved all of us. So thank you for coming. And right now, Adam, I wish you would come up and say the closing prayer.
We definitely got an experience of just this entire afternoon. And just as I seal this up in prayer, when in 1999, when I had the opportunity to be the team chaplain, Run, when I introduced myself to him, he says, "So what do you do?" He says, "You're not a coach. You're not a player." He says, "Did you even play football?" I says, Run, I'm here to serve you as your team chaplain." And he says, "I might like you." And that's what I want to do. I want to honor this afternoon and seal this up with a prayer. So join with me, please, in a prayer. Dear God, I thank you. The words were sufficient. The experience was sufficient. And we thank you, my God, that we're able to celebrate this incredible man's life, this father, my Lord. And we honor that, and we thank you for that, for allowing us to be able to meet and to know this man, George Run Jones, and we thank you. So we ask you once again to seal this and bless us in the precious name of Jesus. And we all said, amen. God bless you. We're going to listen to a tribute.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I will state my case, which I'm
Again, thank you, everybody, for coming today. Thank you so much. I know Tommy, Wendy, the Jones family, we really appreciate everybody that came today. So thank you very much, and have a great day.
The Oakland Raiders are mourning a loss of a member of their family. That gentleman right there, George Jones, 45 years in this organization, known fondly as Run Run. He was a fixture up in these parts. He was a guy who was not only out with the Raiders, but also made his name as in the roller derby.
Yeah, really.
For a time. And you knew him pretty well, too, right?
Well, it's the only guy in the Raider organization who would say hello to the visiting head coach when they came in the stadium.
Yeah, he was beloved.
Yeah.
Well, at his service yesterday, get this, he had 6 Hall of Famers attending. 6 Raider Hall of Famers.